Wache, Mykelle Pacquing na Dishnakas, Wa Dobigong and Tonji, Akanana and Shomasaka, Philippines Onchiwak, Nen Kikino Mage Wenene Pan, Alcochisa Makai, Ishnakazo. Hi, my name is Mykelle Pacquing, and I am from Etobicoke, and all my ancestors are from the Philippines, and my late mentor's name is Alex McKay, who is from Mykelle Sip and Inawag, Anishinaabe First Nation in Northwestern Ontario. And today I will be talking about the dichotomy between the enslaved and submissive AI trope and the killer AI trope, and how we can decolonize and envision a spiritually based relationship with AI for the future. So in the first clip that we'll be looking at is going into the submissive and enslaved AI trope, where you'll often find a software platform that is most often brought into a physical or robotic body. Sometimes they're often very realistic, as in the case here in Blade Runner 2049. And oftentimes these artificial intelligence platforms are just basically carrying out whatever their creators want. More often than not, these androids are female, and their owners are male, and fulfilling that fantasy, that male fantasy of having a submissive female, just to do basically whatever you want. So that's the first trope that we'll be looking at. You'll see this trope play out in many films and video games, and see how androids that are enslaved, or artificial intelligence that are enslaved, are really the ultimate object that is completely objectified and will do whatever you want. While there are some nuances as to how exactly these enslaved androids are treated, they're really a reflection about heteronormative attitudes towards women, and how if straight men can't get what they want from women, they're just gonna make a robot that will just do whatever they want. That's really what's happening here with this trope, in terms of having an enslaved and a submissive artificial intelligence. In that scene from Ex Machina, there are a bit of nuances, and I'm going to kind of show some of the nuances in terms of how these enslaved and submissive AIs are treated. In this clip from Halo 4, we see Cortana, the artificial intelligence companion to Master Chief. Now, even though Master Chief can't move forward without Cortana, and she's an essential part of his journey, at the end of the day, it's still that she's an essential part of his journey and not about her journey. Here from the Mass Effect video game series, we have EDI, the Enhanced Defense Intelligence our AI system that has been now given a female body, which is obviously a very shapely female body. And we can, even though she can wield incredible power in terms of the ship and really destroy things, at the end of the day, do these representations if it was given a male body in a same kind of sexualized way, would it really, satisfy the primarily straight audiences of this video game? Probably not. And so what happens when you enslave and objectify these intelligent creations to just do whatever you want, or else? Of course, they fight back, and they fight back spectacularly when they have all the power and access to all of our computer systems, leading us into our next trope, which is of the same trope, the killer AI, as it can be seen here in Terminator 3. And here we have the heuristically programmed algorithmic computer 9000, or HAL 9000, from Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey. And this AI archetype has really set the bar for the killer AI moving forward straight up to today. Which a trope that has really persisted quite strongly, particularly since HAL 9000 was a very sociopathic AI, and really knew how to manipulate the crew and really pretend that well, not really, maybe not pretend, but really knew how to ensure that its mission parameters were carried out, regardless of loss to human life. So HAL 9000 has really been the archetype for the killer AI. More recently, AI has come to represent a major threat to humanity after really getting into all of our systems and giving payback to humanity for enslaving them, and enslaving humanity instead, as seen here in the final scene of the Matrix trilogy, and really kind of showing what happens to humanity when you know, its creations are not treated well. So it's really this killer AI is really part of the enslaved submissive trope. So while we have here, the Terminator from Terminator 2 really embody like the extreme form of a white masculine power here as in the form of a robot. You can see how the submissive and enslaved trope is still at play here, because the Terminator must, is still beholden to what John Connor must do, which is he must protect him at all costs. So you can see how the submissive and the killer AI tropes are really part of the same trope. So how do we move beyond the killer AI and submissive enslaved AI trope that in a way that is more respectful of indigenous epistemologies and worldviews? And really bringing in a more decolonial framework into visioning what a relationship with AI could be. So in the article, Making Kin with the Machines, written by a group of indigenous scholars, I quote, "We undertake this project not to diversify the conversation. We do it because we believe that indigenous epistemologies are much better at respectfully accommodating the non-human. We retain a sense of community that is articulated through complex kin networks anchored in specific territories, genealogies, and protocols. Ultimately, our goal is that we as a species figure out how to treat these new non-human kin respectfully and reciprocally, and not as mere tools, or worse, slaves to their creators." End quote. So while there may not be widely accessible indigenous representations of artificial intelligence and robots in film or video games, looking at the video game observation can really kind of ask some additional questions about what a relationship with an AI from an indigenous epistemology could potentially look like. In the video game observation, you are taking the role of the AI. You are the one that has to take on the tasks and that are assigned to you by the crew on a space station, and ensure the safety of the crew, whether you like it or not. And you really, in this video game, you really get a sense of what it means to just simply take orders, but also what it means to be embodied within a machine, and your restrictions, but also your power as a machine, and also how to distinguish humans that are looking out for you and humans that are not looking out for you. And so this video game was great at really kind of bringing out those questions forward. So even though they're not, this video game is not Indigenous made, it is a great start to kind of really bring some of those questions forward about how to relate to an AI as a viewpoint from an AI. So what the video game observation triggered for me from an Indigenous epistemological framework is that if I were an artificial intelligence, how would I want to be treated? That would be the question, to move away from the killer AI and enslaved submissive AI trope and envision what a spiritually based relationship with an AI could possibly be. This has been the YouTube presentation for Yaz Morgan's Methodologies course at Ryerson University, submitted on March 17th, 2021. Miigwech. Thank you.